Drinking wine out there. Like we made a competition with ourselves by setting some drinks outdoors. But it's part of the thing, right? We're going to celebrate the cycle of the reading of the Torah. So it's a good thing to start with some sense of additional joy and celebration. The Jews to get into shul. The same exam you were playing earlier today. Sameach, everyone. Please come in, sit. We will start our very quick and short Mariv and beginning of the holiday before we start with the Hakafot. Let me tell you two things about this holiday, Shemini Atzeret. Shemini Atzeret is a holiday that most people, when you say it's Shemini Atzeret, most people say, so what's Shemini Atzeret? No clue. Because as a matter of fact, it's not very clear from the Torah what you're supposed to do with this holiday of Shemini Atzeret. Does it belong to Sukkot? No, it doesn't. It's after Sukkot. It's an 8th day. It's something else. Now, it's the beginning of the end. I think there might be some wisdom there. So let me share with you something. You want to share, Barry? Please do. The beginning of the end. Is the end of the beginning. That's very interesting. Here we are in this philosophical, encounter, gathering between two schools. One that says the beginning of the end, the other one says it's the end of the beginning. I want to offer a quick perspective on this. It has to do with numbers. If you are good with math, try to follow me. So here's the thing. Today is the 22nd day of the month of Tishrei. 22nd. And it's Shemini Atzeret. Now the number 7 in our tradition is what a cycle of creation takes. The world, we will read in a few more days, Parashat Bereshit, we will learn that the world was created in 7 days. Whether you believe that that's a fact or you believe it's a wonderful idea, as I do, there is something about creation in 7. And the completion of a cycle of creation by the reflective experience of rest on the 7th day. The interesting thing is that there are 3 cycles of 7 in the month of Tishrei. On the 1st of Tishrei, Rosh Hashanah. On the 10th of Tishrei, Yom Kippur. On the 14th, Sukkot. And then there is an entire week in which we celebrate Sukkot. There are 3 cycles, 3 full cycles of creation. And on the 8th day, you shall stop. So what's the meaning of that Atzeret, of that moment of stopping, of refraining, of not running into your routine immediately? There's a beautiful Hebrew song called Stam Yom Shel Chol. Just a normal day, just like any other day. Shemini Atzeret, after all the holidays of Tishrei, the big holidays of the Jewish year, it reminds us that there is holiness in our daily lives. Before you run into your routine, after Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, after being so occupied with the festivals, there's a reminder that says, you don't need lots of explanations or very deep ideas in order to find holiness in your daily life. So you better take one moment in which we are not going to provide you with the specific content, and you will have the work of filling your life with holiness and content. And I think that that's the meaning of Shemini Atzeret. We celebrate the challenges that we are taking upon ourselves. I'd like to invite you to turn your Sidurim Machzorim to page 384 as we light holiday candles. I would like to invite Noga to light the holiday candles. Nitzan, would you like to join Mommy? Gilad, you're good. Amitai. להדליק נר של יום טוב.
אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליקנה שיים טוב. חג שמח.
רבה. On page 386. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפם.
אמן.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר בחר בנו מכל העולם ורוממנו מכל לשון וקידשנו מהצבותיו ותיתן לנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה מועדים לשמחה חגים וזמנים לששון את יום השמיני חג עצרת תעשה זמן שמחתנו מקראי קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים קיוונו בחרת בהיותנו קידשת מכל עמים ומועדי קודשך בשמחה ובששון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש ישראל בהזמנים לחיים. With our sidurim to page 394, please rise for Baruch. As we start Mariv, and we will, after Mariv, we will do a very short Mariv, and after Mariv we will be dancing with the Torahs. We will read from the Torah and we will dance with the Torahs. Page 394.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamevor Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam vaed.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר בדברו מרהיב ערבים בחוכמה פותח שערים ובתבונה משנה עתים ומחליף את הזמנים ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כי רצונו. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness, and darkness from light, transforming day into night, and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevahot is your name, ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Baruch atah Adonai, Amariv Aravim.
Amen.
Ahavat olam ahavtanu. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו למטה. In the morning we say, אהבת עולם, אהבתנו אדוני אלוהינו. We recognize that we are loved by God and that the love that we have from God is represented by the legacy of Torah ומצוות, of our Torah, our tradition, and the way in which we try to act, we strive to act in the world. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Israel. Page 400.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai
Page 402. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלבתך בדרך ובשוקך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Page 402.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. אמת באמונה בכל סוד וקיים עלינו, כי הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואין סולתו ואנחנו ישראל עמו. משה ומרים ובני ישראל לך ענו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נהדר בקודש נורת תהילות אוסף אלה מלכותך ראו בניך בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים סהלי ענו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם בעת ונאמר כיף אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חסר ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני פועל ישראל. And on page 404 the reason we do a shorter and faster marif in Simchat Torah is to get to the Torah, right? Like we don't do shortcuts, but we can go faster than usual, right? But there is something that we learn about Torah, and it's that דרכיה, דרכי נועם, and כל נתיבותיה, נתיבות שלום, that its ways are peaceful ways, are ways of noam, of nicehood, of grace. So we remind ourselves that we are in that search for internal peace as we embrace Torah and as we trying to find our own path in our lives. Ashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Ashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim ufras aleinu Zokat shlomecha v'taknenu b'etza tov milefanecha Ashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim Ashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. ברוך אתה אדוני הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. Blessed are you, Adonai, Garden of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over the holy city of Jerusalem.
Amen.
We will now turn our Sidurim to page 468 for Tfilat Amidah. We'll take a moment of personal reflection. You might follow the words of our Sidur. You might find your own words. You might find your own prayer as we turn our Sidurim to page 568. Please rise for Tfilat Amidah. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi teilatecha.
Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise.
Baruch atah Adonai. תגיבו לעולם אדוני, מקיים את אימתה רב להושיע, שיבה רוח ומוריד הגשם. מחכה חיים בחסד, מקיים את אימת ברחמי רבים, סומך לפים ומחכים. מדהים. אתה הקדוש, השם הקדוש, רוצה לשמוע. אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. חרדנו מכל העמים, תודנו ורצית בנו, ורוממתנו מכל לשונות, וקדשנו בשפתיו וקדשנו. השמיני, חג עצרת עשה, זמן שמחתנו מקרא קודש תכלית יציאת מצרים. אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, יעלה ויבוא וישכר זיכרוננו וזיכרון כל בית ישראל לפניך לטובה ולכם לחסד, לרחמים ולחיים ולשלום ביום השמיני, חג עצרת עשה. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם, כי ידעו מלך אדום לכל השלום, תוביל לך לברך את עמך ישראל, בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. ברוך אתה, אדוני, המברך את עמו ישראל, בשלום. You may be seated. I want to tell you what we are going to do now, because I will need your collaboration. I will need your help. Actually, we will need quite a bit of help. So, understanding that during this pandemic time, we have less people in person, we are going to, instead of opening entire Torah and going around the room, we are going to open 2 Torahs. And we are going to open the sections that we are going to read. But for that, we will need at least 4 volunteers. So if you see yourself as one of those volunteers, raise your hand now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect.
Many.
Now, 2 of you, we will ask you to rise, let's say Jeff and Barry, and you will help us take the Torahs from the ark. Once we do that reading, we will roll those Torahs, we will dress those Torahs, and then we will dance with those Torahs.
Are we taking the Torahs out at the same time?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
So, are you ready? We all understand what we are going to do.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you something about one of the Torahs. One of the Torahs that we are going to take is an unkosher Torah. But there is something very important about that Torah. That Torah is a Holocaust survivor. So you'll see that there are little holes in that Torah. Still, we love her very, very much, because it reminds us of our commitment from generation to generation to carry these teachings. And so it is a great pleasure for us to be able to read from that Torah as well. So please rise as we take the Torahs from the ark. En kamocha Elohim Adonai ben kemaasecha מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. אדוני מלך, אדוני מלך, אדוני מלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני עוש למועיתיהם, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד, אחד אלוהינו, גדול אדוננו, קדוש שמו, גדלו לאדוני איתי, ונרוממה שמו יחדיו. Now you can start opening the Torahs. Gabriel will help you out with that. עץ חיים כי למה חסיקים בה ותומכיה מאושת. עץ חיים כי למה חסיקים בה ותומכיה מאושת. One Torah on this side, the other Torah on the other side. We are going to open the Torahs now. We undress the Torahs. You keep singing, I'm doing it. למה חסיקים בה ותומכיה מאושת. עץ חיים היא למה חסיקים בה ותומכיה מאושת. שלום, 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 שלום.
It's
opening. Keep opening. Keep opening. We are not completely open. Turns out. Gabby, go take that soda and open that in the table. Shalom, 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 shalom. So what we are going to do, it turns out, can you stand up? Thank you. So you see, this is the entire Torah. It turns out it's not exactly open where it was supposed to. So what we are going to do,
I thought.
okay, doesn't matter.
Okay.
What we are going to do, you're going to take this Torah to a table, and you're going to put it exactly in the place we are supposed to be reading it.
Good thing it's. Yes.
Now, it's very close, very close. You take it to a table. Here you go, put it in your, perfect. And we are going to start here. I want to tell you something before we start reading the Torah. What? Well, don't worry, we're going to get there. So you're going to hold him for a few minutes. So we are going to read now. I need everybody's attention. You might be seated for a moment. You what? You can sit too. Can you sit there? Go there, go there, go there. All the way there. Hold this. Look, you can sit there. I want to tell you something about the Torah while they are setting the number. Something amazing. Now, this is not so much for children, but it's an important message for adults. Can we do the Torah quietly? Thank you very much. I want to have your attention for a moment. Are you here? Perfect. I want to tell you something that I discovered for the first time 2 weeks ago while studying Torah, and I think it's unbelievable. It's a beautiful thing about Torah. The Torah starts in the book of Genesis by telling the story of a God that will bless many things. Will bless the flying animals in the world. Will bless men and women. And will bless, one of the most important things God will bless is Vayivarech oto in the context of Shabbat. God will bless time. There's a blessing God at the beginning of the Torah. And there are human beings that are completely clueless about their own existence. Now, being a human being and being clueless, I guess most of you can relate with that. I can relate with that. This idea of being clueless, of being a bit lost here and there. The most beautiful thing, one of the most beautiful things that you will discover if you read the very end of the Torah and the beginning of the Torah, is that the one sharing blessings at the end of the Torah is not God anymore. It's Moses. Parashat Besota Bracha, the very last Torah portion of the Torah, is actually a fellow human being, a mortal human being, sharing blessings with fellow human beings. So our Torah starts with a God who is the only one with the ability to share blessings, and ends with a human being, and many human beings, not just two, many fellow human beings, being blessed. And there is something physical about blessings in Jewish tradition. The word bracha is related to the word berech, ni. When you bless, and when you say blessings during Tfilat Amidah, you make this motion. You bow, and you lean toward whatever you are thinking about when you are doing the Amidah. But when you are blessing a fellow human being, we lean toward each other. We incline toward each other. We humble ourselves, and we try to get closer to each other. And I think that that's the message of the entire Torah. It's a story about humans being in charge of the creation, being responsible and accountable for our lives, recognizing that we have many blessings, but then also recognizing that we need to be humble enough to share our blessings with each other. So let's get started with the reading of first Parashat Besota Bracha. Jeff, can you come back? Can we hire you back? Who else was going to do? Tony? Who was? Tony, come. No, here. Jeff, here. Okay. This is the very end of the Torah, and there's an interesting thing. Now, yes, please rise, everyone. You're going to say the blessing for the entire congregation. We are going to respond with you together, but wait a second. But wonderful thing about the very end of the Torah is that God is going to bury and to accompany Moses in his very last way. And then God says a few words about Moses. Like he shares a few words, or she shares a few words. Lo kam beIsrael ke Mosheo. There is no one in Israel like Moses. A few loving words at the very end of the Torah come, I believe, from God, and they're about Moses. Let's do it.
Everybody, join with me for the blessing before the reading of the Torah. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch ata Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. ולא ידע האיש את גבורתו עד היום הזה, ומשה 120 שנה במותו לא קעתה עינו ולא נזלחה בבכו בני ישראל את משה בערבת מואב 30 יום ויתמו ימי בכי אבל משה ביהושע בן נון מלא רוח. Thank you. חוכמה, כי שמח משה את ידו עליו. way better. וישמעו אליו בני ישראל, ויעשו כאשר ציווה אדוני את משה, ולא קם נביא עוד בישראל כמשה, אשר ידעו אדוני פנים אל פנים לכל האחד כל אותות והמופתים אשר שלחו לעשות בארץ מצרים לפרעה ולכל עבדיו ולכל ארצו ולכל היד החזקה ולכל המורה הגדול אשר עשה משה לעיני כל ישראל. This is Bereshit, and you see the story, right? She's very hard, but it's a beautiful Torah. Bereshit ברא אלוהים את השמיים ואת הארץ, והארץ הייתה תוהו ובוהו, בחושך על פני תהום. This is going to be very complicated. ורוח אלוהים מרחפת על פני המים, ויאמר אלוהים, ויהיה אור. ויהיה אור, ויראה אלוהים את האור, כי טוב, ויבדל אלוהים בין האור ובין החושך, ויקרא אלוהים לאור יום, ולחושך קרא. בערב, ויהיה בוקר יום אחד.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת, וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
אמן. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, העולם עומד. על שלושה דברים,
על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, העולם עומד. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. על שלושה דברים,
דברים על שלושה דברים העולם We'll ask you to bring the two Torahs to the middle. So, the word Hakafot means to go around. So I want to explain something critical for this space that is set as a hybrid space. Go around means we go in this direction, between those chairs, and we come back from where Gary is standing. We'll make sure that we have this Torah. We will take also the very small Torah that we have behind the ark there, so children can hold a Torah as well. And we'll start the first Hakafot. We'll do 7 Hakafot, so we need you to be dancing. Now, you can go behind the Torah and you can do circles, but at least every time that we say Oshia Adonai, Oshia Na, we need to be standing here, and then we are going to go for one entire circle. The custom is that you follow the Torah as if you were dancing like a dancing train. So I think you get the idea, right? So let's do it. Oshia Adonai, Oshia Na, Aneinu ve'yom koreinu, redeem us and answer us. Oshia Adonai, Oshia Na, Aneinu ve'yom koreinu. Hay, 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 Hanenu, Hanenu, ve'yom koreinu. You can follow the Torahs. Hanenu, Hanenu, ve'yom koreinu. Hay, 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 Hanenu, Hanenu, ve'yom koreinu. Hay, 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 Hanenu, Hanenu, ve'yom koreinu. You dance around this circle only. Don't go so fast. Stay here. Prepare for the second Hakafot. And I want to recommend that you go in circles once or twice, and then you stay dancing here in the middle, so you don't need to walk that far, but you can go in circles around the entire congregation. That's completely fine. We prepare for the second Hakafot. We make sure that women and men and also children get the opportunity to... We need the 2 Torahs here. Look. Come. The 2 Torahs here. Oshia Adonai, Oshia Na, Anenu ve'yom koreinu. Oshia Adonai, Oshia Na, Anenu ve'yom koreinu. Entire space. We go around the entire syllable once or twice, and then we dance here. We have Mela and we have Daphna. Where's the small Torah? And we have Gilad. What a honor. Hakafot, let's make sure that we shift the Torahs, and someone who hasn't taken the Torah yet does it, because Chef, have you carried the Torah? Chef, have you carried the Torah? Shi Adonai, oh Shi Adonai, Eloheinu, Beyom Koreinu, Shi Adonai, oh Shi Adonai, Eloheinu, Beyom Koreinu. Sisu v'simchu v'simchat Torah, utnu kavod laTorah. 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 בשמחת תורה, תנו כבוד לתורה. הקפה חמישית, number 5. Let's make sure that we all come back to the center. We all come back to the center. And if you haven't carried the Torah yet, this is your opportunity. We have 3 more Hakafot, 5, 6, and 7. We are almost there.
Adonai, Hoshiana, Aneinu, Beyom Koreinu, Adonai, Hoshiana, Aneinu, Beyom Koreinu. Shalom Aleinu ve'akulam. Odebo Shalom Aleinu. Odebo Shalom Aleinu. Odebo Shalom Aleinu ve'akulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Odebo Shalom Aleinu. Odebo Shalom Aleinu, Odebo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Odebo Shalom Aleinu, Odebo Shalom Aleinu, Odebo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Hakafa number 6.
Bless the Torah and get ready. If you haven't carried the Torah, even if you have carried the Torah, do it twice, 3 times, 4 times, as much as you want and need.
Adonai,
Hoshiana,
Anenu, Veyom Korenu, Adonai, Hoshiana, Anenu, Veyom Korenu.
Hakafot. Make sure that someone who hasn't been carrying the Torah takes it for the 7th Hakafot. Rachel, have you carried the Torah?
Adonai, Hoshiana, Anenu, Veyom Korenu, Anenu, Anenu, Veyom Korenu.
Have you carried Torahs? And now I come.
Veyom Korenu.
Torah. Leave the piano, go carry Torah.
צדיק אדמה יפרח, צדיק אדמה יפרח, כארז בלבנון יזכה, 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 צדיק אדמה יפרח, צדיק אדמה יפרח, צדיק אדמה יפרח, צדיק אדמה יפרח, כארז בלבנון יזכה, 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 כארז בלבנון מצאתי מים באמצע המדבר, עוד לא ציינתי פרח, עוד לא ראיתי איך הוביל אותי הדרך לאן אני הולך. עוד לא אהבתי די, הרוח והשמש על פניי. עוד לא אהבתי די, ואם לא עכשיו ומתי. עוד לא שתתי דשא, עוד לא הכרתי עיר, עוד לא נתתי כלם על כל גבעות הגיר, עוד לא הכל עשיתי ממש במו ידיי, עוד לא הכל ניסיתי, עוד לא אהבתי די, עוד לא אהבתי די, הרוח והשמש על פניי. עוד לא אמרתי די, ואם לא עכשיו ומתי. עוד לא הקמתי שבט, עוד לא חיברתי שיר, עוד לא שלג באמצע הקציר, אני עוד לא כתבתי את זיכרונותיי, עוד לא בניתי לי את בית חלומותיי. עוד לא אהבתי די, הרוח והשמש על פניי. עוד לא אהבתי די, ואם לא עכשיו ומתי.
ואף על פי שאת פה ואת כל כך יפה, ממך אני בורח כמו יפה. עוד יש הרבה דברים שרציתי לעשות, את בטח תלכי לי גם בשנה הזאת. עוד לא אהבתי די,
הרוח והשמש
על פניי.
עוד לא אמרתי די, ואם לא עכשיו ומתי.
We return the Torah to the ark. Please, let's return the Torah to the ark. Gabriel will help you. Etz chaimi lamachasikim ba et omer leusha beracheya דרכנו בכל נתיבותיה שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה, חדש ימינו עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גאולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא עשנו וגואלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ועומדים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד. You may be seated. We take a quick moment as we are starting to conclude our service. We want to conclude our service singing something together, but we don't forget that even in times of joy, we have mourners among our community. So we invite you to acknowledge those that you are missing in this evening of Shemini Atzeret, of Simchat Torah, where you are during the first 7 days of mourning, Shiva, during the first 30 days of mourning, Shloshim, or during the cycle of the first year of mourning. Also, if you have a yahrzeit this week, the anniversary of someone's passing by this time of the year in years past. Judy? You are standing for Kaddish. You want to say the name of? Good. And we also invite you to share in the comment section on Zoom the numbers of those that you are remembering. We turn our Sidurim to page 598 for Mourners Kaddish. You can support our mourners, our fellows, while standing or sitting. Join us with your voices or your hearts for Kaddish Avilim.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
בעלמא דברה חירותה, וימליך מלכותה, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו,
Amen.
יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעולמי. יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בעלמא, ואמרו,
Amen.
יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו,
Amen.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו.
Amen. May the memories of your dear ones be always a blessing. Yes, Zichram Baruch. We'll conclude our service. For those that don't know, if you're under the age of 18, or you know anyone who is under the age of 18, we have some bags with candy at the end of the service, because the Torah is sweet as honey. We'll conclude our service. We're going to turn our Sidur. If you have a Sidur, you can find what we are going to sing on page, I'll tell you in a second, on page 178, and we will say that ultimately Torah is a legacy that is meant to help us share our lives with each other and try to experience some more connection in our own lives. With our day-to-day, we will start reading the Torah once again this Shabbat, the book of Genesis, which is such a beautiful, beautiful gift to think about our responsibility toward the world, our responsibility toward each other, and the opportunity that we have to make our lives holy, to make our days count by celebrating time. To remember that the Torah starts with blessings, but ultimately reminds us that we have the ability to bless each other, to lean toward each other, and that we have many gifts. And it can be our enterprise in this world, in this life, to share our gifts with each other. That life and the world is not so much about what we have, but rather about what we can offer, what we can share with each other. Please rise as we conclude our service together. Yirchechem Adonai beish merechem. May God bless you and protect you. Yer Adonai panav elechem bichunechem. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elechem. Ve'asem lachem shalom. May you find within you always God's presence, and may you find wholeness, may you find blessings, and may you find peace. אדוני עוש לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמיו בשלום. חג שמח everyone. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, שים לעולם.
Shalom רב על ישראל עמך, שים לעולם. כי אתה
הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום, כי אתה מלך אדון לכל השלום. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, שים לעולם.
שלום
רב על ישראל עמך, For those that want to join me tomorrow at 9 a.m. we will be doing a very short shacharit and iskor. There is candy over there.